Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Let's bring our audio audience. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Welcome. Sisters and brothers, again, we're never going to forget the Holocaust. The Holocaust. They're desperately trying to whitewash it, downplay it. They wish it didn't exist, but it did. 40 years of horror. They're trying to call it slavery. No, brothers and sisters. Does that look like slavery to you? Slavery is forcing someone to work without pay. That's slavery. Does it look like slavery to you? Does it look like work to you? Does it look like pain and suffering? Unimaginable suffering, death. Endless, repetitive, relentless, for 400 years, 24/7, 365, and 400. And estimates up to 400 million of us went through it. The Holocaust. Don't let them fool you, brothers and sisters, called slavery. Slavery was the economic side of it, wasn't the social side of it. Horror, rape, murder, castration, 24/7, constant fear, intense fear, 24/7. Can you imagine being in fear every day of your life, every second of your life, for as long as you live, from the time that you could go on until the time they bury you? Constant, unrelentless, acute, severe fear. That's what these people did to us and still doing. We're still here, aren't we? How are we free? They didn't return us. Oh, you're not in the cell anymore, but you can walk around the prison all you want. Really? You still got to use a prison name, but you're free. Oh, I'm still 547, and I'm still confined to the walls of this prison. I'm free, and you buying it. Holocaust. I'm not going to forget it. And now the judgment is here, 2020, 1619 to 2019, 20 years. Read the Abrahamic covenant. It's in the so-called Old Testament and New Testament. 20 years, then God would chastise, punish the people who afflicted us. And it doesn't say just slave. It says you're being enslaved and afflicted. So if afflicted was part of slavery, they wouldn't have to add that word. Because it's two different things, the Holocaust, and they're being punished, they're being destroyed because of the Holocaust, because God is coming to avenge his people. Many of you don't want to avenge anybody. You're making love with these people, you're marrying them, you got your head up their asses and everything else. The fish bumping, hey bro. What they did to your grandparents, or great-grandparents, and even some of your parents, something they did to you. Bro? Sickening. We don't talk about that because most of you is thinking like that. You're going to be going down with bro. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's mind power. We talk about a lot of pressure. Before I can really talk about power, you have to understand how pressure works. You go from one grade to another, and trying to lift you up, right, to the next grade level, which is power. Pressure under control is pressure. It will still defeat lower pressure, but it doesn't have form. It's not power. Undisciplined pressure is not power. You have to discipline pressure to have power. And we have no power because power is like disposable income has energy that you have beyond your personal needs. We have internal energy and external energy. We have internal needs and external needs. We went into deprivation because there was not enough energy to satisfy our internal needs. So therefore, by definition, we had no power. But once we step out of that, and now we have energy that's external energy, then we can convert that into power. That's why Adam being made to make misery shed blood, right? He had to be given guidance to get and to maintain his power, which is so-called old sealed Bible. Sealed. As long as he followed that, he would maintain power. But every time he slipped from it, he crashed and burned. He crashed and burned right off the bat for 2,000 years, confined to the caves of Europe. And then he lost it again for 1,000 years, so-called Dark Ages. Read chapter 20, that's then they're talking about. Because they slipped away from the guidance, which is discipline. Righteousness is just another word, it's a biblical word for discipline. They stepped away from discipline, biblical discipline, because all kinds of discipline, right? They crashed and burned. And now they're stepping away from it again, and they're going to crash and burn to crisp, to nothingness. It said to be utterly burned down to nothing. Now we have Lion Farrakhan. He's part of the deception because he's a devil. He follows the devil. Google it. Follows in a personal clock. They have a picture of him. Makes him a devil, a demon. He's part of the process to try to get you to fail to gain your mind power. If you read the book of Daniel and the book of Revelations, right, you had to be given your mind back. Your mind had to be returned to you. Your mind was taken from you. It had to be returned to you. That's what angel is. Angel is your mind. Your mind is software. Your brain is hardware. Angel is software that will run perfectly on your mind, but they tell you to reject it. Don't mess with that stuff because they took and converted you to a Negro butt 400 years ago. A Negro butt. A Negro butt. A Negro butt. 1 years ago. Took 64 years to do it. The first Negro bus became a semi-line stamp and certified, fully programmed 400 years ago. Certified, right? John Richardson. That was your certification. That was your name of ownership. See? Jimmy Richardson. So if he sold you to Master Blackstone, your name became Jimmy Blackstone. Those are not your names, and the names you walk around with are just indications, right, of your ownership. That you still owned. You walk around proudly with those names. Still own. The last slave master that owns you. That's where that name is. And so they know as long as you have those names, that they still have you programmed. And you must break through that programming if you want to get out of here. Most of you don't even want to get out of here because you don't know anything about getting out of it at all. You don't know about Abrahamic covenant. You know maybe a little bit about what Farrakhan's telling you, but he's lying about that because he gives you just the suffering and the enslavement part, but he didn't tell you about the reward. Us going home, because he said we're not going anywhere. And yet he claims he's a father, Elijah Muhammad, whose whole mission 40 years to remind us and prepare us to return home. And Master Muhammad, the one that taught him, his mother's mission was to come and to inform you of the Abrahamic covenant and tell you that he's here to fulfill it. But he said, you must have a thorough knowledge of self to return. What does that mean? In a word, you need mind power that's greater than the power of our enemy. We cannot escape his gravitational vortex. This reality we see came out of his wicked mind. It was a weak mind. It was stronger than anyone else's because he had power. He had power. You don't understand the source of that power. He had power. Because he had excess energy, and he had external energy, and he followed the discipline that he was given, right? That means he achieved power, and he had power over everyone else because everyone else was suffering some degree of energy deprivation. Everyone was suffering some degree of energy deprivation. We suffered the worst. But they were not because they were circumcised. What does that mean? Spiritually, the Bible, circumcised means that black skin removed. See, you have the nature of the gods, but not the substance or denying the power thereof. It means they're a form of us, but not the substance. That react, like you have a Lamborghini, and you strip it down, all the accessories are gone. So all you can do is have a driver, you have a steering wheel, brakes, and a gas pedal. That's it. All the attributes are gone. That's what's going on. And so some of you, right, are down with it because you're still programmed. That program has to be broken. It's about to be broken in a minute. But many are going to be lost in the process. Because we're going home. That's what Abraham Accompanied says. And there's one plague already taking place, 1619 to 2019. Right after that, you'll be afflicted with a plague that will kill the firstborn but pass over you. Isn't that exactly what COVID did? They claim we was dropping like flies, but again, just check with the World Health Organization and Google it. They published a paper a while back, a month or two ago, that said, in effect, that they don't understand why Black Africa is not affected by this plague, Haiti or any other country where Black folks mostly reside. So they stopped talking about this dropping like flies stuff because it was lying all the time. So that was the first of 10 plagues. And then you got 9 about to happen when the war in the Middle East takes place. Which is about to happen any day now. And that's why Muhammad's going to take out the dragon, Gog and Magog, and the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going to be destroyed. False Israel will be destroyed, which will send shockwaves around the world, great fear, which will paralyze you, where you have to call on your mind for salvation. Your mind will hopefully tell you what to do, and they've been listening to these broadcasts. So this civilization, you see, it came out of their weak mind. Now the Quran says there was other nations that were much greater than this, but you don't have anything to compare it to. You say this is great. It's not. What we're going to bring in will make this look like a fly turd. You know it's there. You understand, brothers and sisters? Mind power. They're trying to get you to waste yours, to frivolate it away. It's all about critical race theory. No, it wasn't a theory. That's what it's all about. Slavery. No. The children taught the truth about themselves. Everybody think they're good, great people. I already talked about that. That myth has been destroyed. Now they're talking a new game. It's two schools of thought. Two schools of thought. If you get rid of us, or talk us out of it. We don't get everything now. These 6 days, everything you want. They're going to war with each other in a minute. Mind power. So all these religions and things like that came out of their minds. You said, well, they got the Bible. They're not reading the Bible correctly. They have you believing in spirits and spooks, things don't exist. Religions that have no power. How do you know a religion has no power? Because they bring anything into existence based on its principles. Nothing. only one that did that is mathematics. Mathematics, you look around you, everything you see came out of mathematics. Everything you can find or test or see anything that wasn't mathematically based or come forth from mathematics. Nothing. High power. So we try to do, brothers and sisters, try to empower you. Now you have energy, external energy, and you take and turn that energy into power. Because if you don't, you're going to be lost here. Because your power is not greater than theirs. Your power must be greater than theirs. But, if you're going to believe in their false religion, they can't bring anything to existence based on Christian principles. In fact, Christian principles goes against nature altogether. But they tell you that there's no sense of consequence. All you got to do is believe on Jesus, and whatever you did, just no. You believe that? Why is America so in distress? Because they said, "You love Israel," right? Allah will bless those who hate Israel will curse. And they love false Israel to death. And they cursing us. That's why all hell's break loose in America, because they didn't receive that blessing because they were lying. They're liars. Every time word comes out of their mouth, you can guarantee it's a lie. Every word that comes out of their mouth is a lie. You have to double check it out. Triple check it. Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to stay here long. I want to keep this brief. But I know you don't understand this. They come over there, took your religion from you, and forced their. Do you think these people are God-fearing people? These guys are blessed by God? These people are blessed by God? You think? You look around you. Look how they got this country. God sanctioned that? The genocide of all the Native Americans, including women and children, especially children. They have horses trample down their head, squash their heads. These people were terrible. They still are. They still are. People are terrible. So they think Jesus sanctions all this? That's the God that's blessing them for all these things, genocide, death, murder. You really think that? Jesus said Satan is God as well. So he's not one of the 24 scientists, 25th scientist. He's not a God in any way. Not even a God. But he's God by virtue that he has control of everything. See? That type of God. But he said Satan is God of this world. And he met Jesus in the wilderness. He told Jesus, I got all the kingdom except America. He said, I got all the kingdom except America. Or he said he had all of them. So you know about Jesus, I got all of them. All you got to do is give me some props, right? I'll hook you up. See, you don't listen to any of this stuff. Because you're still a Negro, but your mind is locked. This program is locked. And the terror bus, that's your demons, they master children, they need to make sure you stay locked. Because if you talk around, question they get, there's something wrong with your programming. There's only thing come in and reprogram you, reboot you, right? Or dismantle you. Mind power, brothers and sisters. How you achieve mind power. You have the same energy as everyone else. How do you use it? How do you use it? Did you gain power? Develop yourself? But how are you using it? NBA, NFL, is that how you abuse your energy? It's not infinite, brothers and sisters. It's there, everybody has the same amount. If you still locked into their mentality, Christianity, that's come out of their mouth. It come out of their understanding. Christianity, Christmas, Easter, right? Mortgages, American Dream. If you call any of that kind of stuff, then you will not leave here. Because it says you will not return to a thorough knowledge of self. Do you have that? If they're trying to give you, angel give your mind back. It'll take it from you, replace with a program. It monsters it. Make sure you stay online. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Will not return to a thorough knowledge. And we're going back home. I don't care what Farrakhan said. He's not going because he's a demon. You don't get to fight with his demon daddies, right? They'll go off the cliff together. He's just lying his ass off, though. That we ain't going nowhere. That's a lie. That's not Abraham Muhammad said. That's not what Muhammad said. Because he's a deceiving liar. I mean, I can't blame the son because we don't want to. Master one, because they didn't get the war with Master. Just for Master's power demise, right? And they're going to be doing whatever. They're going to be then taken out by the Chinese and the Indians. That's no story together. But you need to rise above the mind of this generation, the mind of these people. You got to rise above it, brothers and sisters. Otherwise, you're lost. Otherwise, you're lost. Otherwise, you are lost, brothers and sisters. First, you have to achieve power. You have to achieve external energy. Where is the power? There's 5 fundamental principles, mathematical principles of Islam. People with me, they happily teach them to you. It don't cost you anything. It's a free gift. I guarantee you, it will change your life. We're going home, brothers and sisters. Going home. I think, like I said, I think I'll keep this short. But you need to understand mind power, brothers and sisters. Discipline. Turn external energy, right? Which is pressure into power. Disciplining pressure is power. Power to cause things to happen, to do things. To reshape your reality. To go into the future. With time travels, we convert energy from one form to another. That's time travel. Because no conversion, no time. So if you're still stuck in that gravitational vortex, society, that's what Lion Ishmael's trying to say, but he's a big liar, he twists all around. But yeah, we gotta come out of her, my people. That's part of it. You gotta, first of all, your mind has to be more powerful than them. That means that's coming out. But it says, but you go home. You don't leave that part out. We ain't going nowhere. No. Our mind is going to, our minds, right? You're going to get your mind back. Be greater than your enemies. And then you're going back home. Then your enemy here to suffer, torment, disease, famine, cannibalism. All they did to us plus. We're going to stand, brothers and sisters. Mind power. Again, the brain is your hardware, the mind is your software. What kind of software you have? You still run their software, Christianity, Easter, democracy, demonocracy. What it is. It's a ruling system, but demons and demons and devils. Demonocracy. A lot of truths in the words themselves. We're going to stand, brothers and sisters. The angel is giving your mind back. Read that and say, you have to be giving your mind back. So it says this book will be sealed to the end. So that's somebody in the past. It says this book will be revealed, it was sealed up, revealed to the end. Daniel says it specifically. So this man, right, he had mathematical mind. They don't have a mathematical mind. Their mathematics is very simple. But in face of no other math, their math is superior. And desperately trying to change our minds. That's what I used to call it mental boxing. Because they define words in such a way, control your thinking. Because the most powerful book in America, not the Quran, it's a dictionary. Because if they go tonight and say, I would change all the meanings, the word of the dictionary, what would you be doing? How would you fit in? Because if you look at the dictionary, it says slavery is something that happened to immigrants that come over here and get in trouble. Then you got a whole, I mean, they do it like that. Then you got a whole different attitude towards slavery. They play games with words. That's why they got this book called 1984. I'm going to read it. There's got another book called Iron Mountain Report. I have a copy, I think, somewhere around. It's free. Both probably free on the internet. Most people don't read them. You propagandize to death. Understand what's going on. Confused. You got people like Farrakhan. That's his whole job to confuse you. But if he left there tomorrow, his so-called NOI couldn't last 5 minutes. It's so confused. Scientology, right? Fight America's wars, all stuff that analytical was totally against Elijah Muhammad's message. I have a presentation out there that speaks directly to the call. Who is the liar? Shows what Elijah Muhammad said as opposed to what Farrakhan says. He's not teaching the same thing at all. No contest. But mind power. See? Your mind has to rise above this false religion. For one, this false American dream. Tell us the dream that it's not real. Going in and fighting for this country. All the dumb things you're doing. But still doing that, you're going to be left behind. But you have to be in the Lamb's Book of Life to get out of here. He's going to certify that you have a thorough knowledge of yourself, that you know what to do with it, that you are in the process of turning energy, pressure into power. We don't want any less than that in the hereafter. If you're less than you're making it. We don't want you. You might make it through the tribulation. That's a coin toss. We don't want you. This is serious, brothers and sisters. Even Prophet Muhammad said he didn't think he could make it through the judgment. It's serious. And we're not going around checking your toilet habits and stuff like that, no. Very simple stuff. You show up there, a Caucasian on your arm, ain't no conversation there. Bye. You're lucky if you got a bye, because they throw your ass out on the street. Turn into a kite. You understand, brother and sister? I'm going to close out in a second. But you understand that, brother and sister? Your mind power had overcome theirs. Right now, you're locked in. American dream, soccer, the kids, private school, all this kind of stuff. Right? Just locking you in. Locking you in. They control you by they can control you by a dictionary, control the way you think, change the meaning of words. And so they have you saying something that's totally opposite what you just said. That's what's happening, brothers and sisters. You need to gain mind power. You need to do that. You have to upjudge the angel so you know who you are and know who everyone else is. You have to apply the 5 fundamental principles of Islam. You find your whole nature, everything will change. But now your mind is coming back. Because right now you have the mind of a beast. clean you up and give you a new mind back. If Muhammad spent 40 years doing, that's matter. Muhammad came over to remind you of it. My job is to complete it. Get you home safely. Get as many as you home, many as I can back. You're gonna stand, brothers and sisters. You need mind power. You're feeling away your mind. That's your business. Maybe you're a demon. Maybe you plan to stand here. But if you're a demon, you ain't sitting by me. Not sitting by me. Okay? Mind. You need to turn into power. Turn energy into power. That's the greater power than Israel. You're not leaving it, brothers and sisters. Not going to be certified by me. You're not going to get here. Because it's all about power. It's all about power. It's all about pressure. 5 fundamental principles of Islam. Reap what you sow is another way of saying it. Consequence. But it says they will have no fear of consequence before their eyes. No fear of God before their eyes. Mind power, brothers and sisters. And you can sit around here, blow it off. That's up to you. But you will be sorry. We tell you how to attain mind power. We don't charge you a dime for it. Nothing, zero. Because you already paid the price. Now it's time for you to reap the reward. And this part of the reward, giving you the truth of all things, so there's no confusion. Mind power. Teach you how to obtain it, and to maintain it, and to keep it, secure it. And there's 5 fundamental principles of the universe that it rests on. Consequence is the most fundamental. That's the first one. And we translate the first. The second one, torque. That's the force that's generated by a spinning force. It's an upright force. It makes you upright. Torque. Right? That's related to the heart. Because the heart is a spinning pressure. Your blood circulates through your system. Right? That's a spinning force. Now let's throw it together, brothers and sisters. Well, that's true, right? Then you got charity, the pressure differential. Okay. Pressure differential. You know, all of these, you need to learn how they work, how you need to apply them. Then you got fasting, mass times acceleration equals force. More mass, right? Less acceleration, great acceleration, less the mass. If you sit around here all big and bad and lazy, then you're going to have no force. You see? Because you got a lot of mass. Very little acceleration. I'm going to leave that one there. Then you got fast. Well, no, we just said that. We said consequence. We said torque. We said currents. And now we're talking about fasting. So in currents, we're talking about pressure differential. In other words, you have more than we're supposed to have, so you got a negative cloud over you. To give that out, if you take it, now the cloud is going away. That's just a simple way of looking at it. Then finally, we said what 4 was fasting, right? Mass times acceleration. So if it's 12, your mass is 12. Your acceleration only going to be 1. Your mass is 6. Your acceleration will be 2. Your mass is 12. Acceleration will be so if it's 12, it's going to be 1. So it depends on your eating habits. Eat 1 meal a day, you maximize your acceleration. Acceleration energy. Now that's Hajj. Enough pressure forces you into harmony. Only we can achieve that. But it takes intense discipline to achieve it. But they don't have it, so they don't go into harmonic motion, they just go into destruction, crush. Everybody's crushed. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Those are 5 fundamental principles, mathematical principles of Islam. There's mostly the 5 fundamental principles of the universe. And if you apply them, you can gain discipline over your energy, which is power. The power you have, more control you have over things, and lesser power cannot harm you. Lesser pressure cannot harm greater pressure. It's a one-way street. Higher pressure, higher power moves towards lower pressure, lower power, and obliterates it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Mind power. If your mind power is so weak that you still call up this American dream, American nightmare, believing that America is blessed by God, and genocide and murder, death, and thought, right? How is that possible? Other nations are moving towards more mind power. They practice discipline. Not practice discipline like I'm saying it, but they get power from discipline they are applying. And is America vulnerable? About to be destroyed. Once false Israel taken down, the abomination of desolation, great fear will come upon the people. Then your heart will click up to your mind and say, what to do? At that point, if you're not locked to a corner, right, in a circle, you better flee. Now people are going home. Some of them going to sea route, some going to first class. I tend to go first class, brothers and sisters. So if you want to list these clowns, they got Mr. Black Man, all this stuff, they have nothing. You think, I helped print some of those books. I worked at the press. I knew Elijah Muhammad. I was there in 1775. I was a night foreman at the Muhammad Sikh newspaper. I know that's what they're saying is all bullshit about him. You think he put everything? I was there when someone's book was printed. You think he put his whole life work in those books? I got Mr. Black Man. He instilled progress. I'm going to take care of the whole world. Elijah Muhammad saying nothing about that. He said, I'll take care of people here. Get us back home. So where are they going? So they consider. But anyway, so think about it. You got in Daniel, right? Michael delivers all those in the Lamb's Book of Life. So unless he's Farrakhan, that means unless he's Farad, Muhammad, must be two deliverers in. So he is Master Farad Muhammad. He's going to deliver, but his name has to be in the Lamb's Book of Life to be delivered. He's just a conductor. You have to go to the ticket master to get tickets to get on that train. He's the only one that can certify you. He's not certify you if you're full of shit, if you're a demon, if you're a night anchor, time maker, vulture, biker. Nah. You got tribulation, and then you got just hell, more hell after that. We understand, brothers and sisters. You got to rise above this. I'm giving you the scripture to do it. You got to start showing discipline, turn your mind, energy, mind pressure into power. And once you've done that, you start rising. And that's when they're going to start trying to bring you down. That's how you know you're growing, because there's resistance. They know something's wrong with you, because you're supposed to be doing that you got mass permission. He's never going to give you permission to go out and do that kind of stuff against him. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I meant to keep this limited, short, and that's what I've done. Mind power. So listen to these lies, Farrakhan, they're lying. He's son of addition, that's why he's lying. Devil ain't devil anymore because that would expose him as being devil. Since his father is the devil's right there on WikiLeaks or whatever. You can understand, brothers and sisters. Don't worry about the resistance. Resistance means growth. But this is a very important point to our people. Because Farrakhan said, come out of our people. That means come out of her ways of culture. No. That's part of it. You don't read the last part. Where he says America's going to be born down, right? With Chris. Be able to stay and witness that, and what's happened to us. The big lies over there. And everybody's going to realize that in a minute. And what will happen to them? You figure it out. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Mind power. How do you get it? Converting energy from one form to another. Converting energy, right, into power. In this case, mind power. Mind power. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Let me check on my audience here. Thank you for listening. This is the Black Alert segment. Red Fire Zone. Thank you for listening, brothers and sisters. Black Alert. Fire Zone out. Mm-hmm. Okay, brothers and sisters. Again, these people forget the hard costs. Don't let them bamboozle you, brothers and sisters, with the slavery stuff. They don't want to hide it. They know it's time for their destruction. They're in judgment now. And they're desperate to either get rid of us or have us get rid of ourselves. They want to talk their way out of this. There's no way of talking about it. So God's kind of vengeance. So if you too dumb or too ignorant or whatever, right? So see, to accept vengeance coming from these people, it doesn't matter because God is going to do it himself. It's not lead up to you. Consequence. There's never been any exception to that. Consequence always exists. There always be an action, every option equal action. That's consequence. And now the God of consequence and the high priest said consequence is here present, generated by them. Because we're the personification of the consequence that they generated. So you can't destroy consequence. Can't destroy consequence. So we're the judge. And the judgment is death. And they know it. You understand, brothers and sisters? Assalamu alaikum.